I'm Owen Bigland. This is the Inside Edge video blog. Okay, let's talk about the state of the market for pre-sale condos that have now just gotten completion, maybe in the last month or 5 months ago or 6 months ago. And these sellers are trying to sell these units now. They've had a change of circumstance. They bought the pre-sale 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago in some cases because of construction delays. They've gotten the keys, they've had a change of circumstance, they're divorced, they've lost their job, they've moved, the bank, they're having trouble financially, they've lost their job, they're disabled for whatever reason, or they were speculators. A lot of them, they don't tell you this at the pre-sale center. A lot of them go into the display center and buy these condos on the premise that, hey, you're going to buy this. It's a layaway program. You're going to get the keys in 5 years. Vancouver real estate goes nothing but up, don't you know? And when if you decide to sell it, you're going to walk away and make a ton of money on this, which sometimes it happens. Sometimes it absolutely everything goes in your favor, as I've talked about. By everything going in your favor, you buy it, the market goes nothing but up for the next 5 years. Because you got to remember, on a typical condo, the ones I'm going to give you here, which are luxury condos selling at 2.5 and 5.5 million. I'm going to get to in a minute. Selling at 35, almost 4,000 a square foot is what they paid for these. You need everything to go in your favor. You pretty much need this condo to go up $500,000 just to break even with the GST, the PTT, the conveyancing charges, your commission to sell the unit. You need these units to go up extensively. And then if you did manage to eke out a little bit of a profit, we've got a new 20% flipping tax coming in January 1st. Plus we've got the greatest flipping tax ever known, which is a little something called the capital gains tax, which the socialist liberals just raised from 50 to 67%. So the deck is stacked so far against you here when you buy a pre-sale, if you're looking to flip this or sell it because of a change of circumstance when you finally get the keys. As I've said before, and I've said this a million times, I'm not a fan of pre-sale. They can make sense in some certain special circumstance. But if you buy a pre-sale condo, folks, you better be 100% committed to either living in it, moving into it as your principal residence and keeping it for 7, 8, 9 years, or it's an investment. You're going to take keys on it and put a tenant in it and keep it again for 6, 7, 8, 10 years or longer. If you are wishy-washy on any of those, then do not go near pre-sale, because the chances are, I'm going to give you a couple examples here, you are going to get your head handed to you and you are going to lose 2, 3, 4, $500,000 on some of these luxury condos. So I'll give you a couple of quick examples here. This is a brand new luxury condo in West End, Cole Harbour area. Very nice strata, very high end. I'm not going to give you the address. You guys can figure it out. You always do. But I'll give you a couple of sales that are on here right now. This is one on the 8th floor. 1,100 square feet, one parking, no view whatsoever. 8th floor, you're looking straight into another building. 1,100 square feet, one bed, it's a small two bed, two bath, 1,100 square feet, currently listed for $2.6 million. It's been on the market for 125 days. Now, they took the keys on this in August of 2023, brand new, the owner occupied, listed it for 3.3 million, dreaming, no hope. But you see, they paid 2.6 plus GST and PTT. So hey, they always want to try and make a little money or at least break even on it, but you're dreaming. They've systematically reduced it ever since August of 2023, currently on the market now at 2.59 for the last 125 days. Started at 3.3, took it down to 3.2, 3.1, 3, 2.9, 2.855. Now they're at 2,599,000. So they paid for this unit 2.6 pre-sale, plus GST, plus PTT. So they're into this, and then another $75,000 to sell it. So they need to sell this for about, I'd say 2.9 million to break even, and they're currently at 2.6, and they're not going to get 2.6. They might get 2.4, 2.3 for this unit. So they're going to be looking at, I don't know, 3 or 4, 5, $550,000 loss. Didn't tell you that at the pre-sale center, did they? There's currently 28 listings in this strata. Yeah, it's a tough sell. If this does sell, they're looking at a huge loss. I'll give you another one in the same building, higher floor, bigger unit. 32nd floor, 1,400 square foot, 2-bed, 2-bath, 1,400 square feet, currently listed for $5.5 million. This has only been on the market for 14 days, this one. This one I'm going to call why even bother? You are wasting your time. If the seller came to me, and I get these every year, came to me and said, hey, I want to list this home and this is what I want to price it at, I would politely decline. I would say, I'm sorry, Mr. Seller, and I would advise you, do not list the home at $5.5 million. You are wasting your time on this. All you're going to do here is rack up a whole bunch of days on market, unsold. Maybe you reduce it a few times, but you are not going to get anywhere near this. These people paid $5,050,000 plus GST, which is another $250K, plus PTT, selling commissions. I mean, they're probably into this for around 5.4, 5.5. So again, they listed at 5.5. They're always optimistic. I don't like to try and get out of this what I paid for it, but it's not going to happen. Now, to add insult to injury on this one, it's tenanted with 9 months still left on a fixed term tenancy. So you can imagine what this unit looks like inside, tenanted. $5.5 million, I can tell you they should be getting $15,000, $16,000, $17,000 a month rent, but they're probably not getting anywhere near that. It's probably $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. So they're supplementing it heavily. The photos on this unit look like they're taken with a camera phone, dark, because it's tenanted. It doesn't show well, limited photos, and it's a $5.5 million condo. So again, these people, they paid $3,900 a square foot for this. They are going to take a huge haircut on this. I would tell these people, just stop wasting your time on this. It's not going to sell at this price. There have been some sales in this strata way below this. They're dreaming at this price, but this is what happens when you buy a luxury condo at $4,000 a square foot and have a change of circumstance and want to sell. Once you add in your GST, which in this case is $250,000 out the window right there, you've lost that. PTT, the biggest tax grab going of what, another $100,000 there. Let's kick in another $150,000 of commissions. All these costs are not recoverable. They're gone off your list price here. You're not getting that back. So this is the world of pre-sale and why I say you've got to be 100% committed to these. You know, there's a lot of this going on right now in Brentwood, not in this price category, but there are hundreds and hundreds of units, pre-sale units that have just come on market or they're 1 or 2 years old that are trying to sell them. Most of them are taking losses on these. And there's a whole bunch of pre-sale out there now launching endlessly out in Brentwood that you're competing against. And they're not selling and they're starting to cut prices and give incentives on these. So this is the world of pre-sale that I warn you guys about. You know, out in New Westminster, for instance, there's a couple of strata that just got occupancy. In one of these buildings, they still don't have full occupancy. They're only at about 50%, and they've already got over 60 units listed. Building was 7 years, 2 years delayed, 7 years from the time they laid down their deposits. But these are in Brentwood as well. They're all over the place, Richmond as well. You know, the problem is that people have a change of circumstance. You get a flood of listings that hit 50, 60, 70, 80 listings at once. It's buyers are smart. Why would they jump into the market when they can smell blood in the water? These people have all obviously got problems. They have to sell. I'll just buy my time, wait for the listings to continue to pile up, wait for them to start cutting prices, and then I'll make my move. And it's tough. Again, you've got to be extremely careful when it comes to pre-sale here, guys. Especially in these luxury ones, these people are looking at huge losses in the hundreds of thousands of dollars on these. And it's something that I don't think people understand. I'm not going to get into it on this blog, but I've told you guys, if people knew the difference between what pre-sales used to be like 10 or 12, 15, 20 years ago when I used to buy a lot of pre-sale compared to today, you would not touch pre-sale. Back in the old days, you put 5% down. The construction time was 2 years. It was a fraction. If you change your mind, you could put it on the MLS and sell it as an assignment. There was no assignment fees, or they would charge you $500. It was night and day. Now you need 20% or 25% down, huge deposits. Because the developers don't want you walking away from these. They want substantial deposits, 4 and 5 times what you used to pay. You cannot put it on the MLS as an assignment. You'd have to sell it private off market. The developer has to approve you selling it as an assignment. In most cases, they want a percentage of any profit, which you're almost never making now, so that doesn't come into effect. And they want like a $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 assignment fee to assign it. The construction time is gone from 2-3 years to 6-7 years. The disclosure statements now are 150 pages long, heavily weighted towards the developer in every single aspect. You have no outs as a buyer. And you see, they do that because most buyers don't read the disclosure statement. If you saw the difference between these and what they were 10 years ago, it's incredible. So be incredibly careful with pre-sale, guys. I've been on this for 12 years now. The difference between pre-sale now and what it used to be. It's funny too, here we've got David Eby and the NDP. They've fallen far short of their housing mandate. 27% in the city of Vancouver, less than what their threshold was to build. Part of that reason is there's a war on investors, and they've made buying pre-sale very difficult. So if developers can't sell to investors and first-time buyers on pre-sale, then they can't move ahead with, if they can't sell 50 or 60%, they can't move ahead with the construction. So here the NDP wants to build more housing, but you've got things like the double dip on the GST, the new flipping tax, the increased capital gains tax, a contract that's heavily weighted towards the developer, no outs whatsoever if you change your mind, and then they wonder why they've fallen so far behind on getting new construction built. There you go. They speak with forked tongue. I'm Owen Bigland. As always, thanks for watching. See you next week.